The Resilience emerged from hyperspace, at the edge of what was once the Sol system, its hull scarred by 5 centuries of wandering among distant stars. Captain Elena Vasquez stood on the bridge, her weathered hands gripping the command rail as she stared at the viewscreen. Where Earth should have been, only an asteroid field, remained a cosmic graveyard marking humanity's former home. "Scan complete, Captain," reported Lieutenant Chen from the sensor station. "Debris pattern confirms historical records. Earth was systematically dismantled, not simply destroyed. Every piece smaller than a building." Elena's jaw tightened. The Galactic Council had been thorough in their genocide, reducing humanity's birthworld to rubble and scattering the fragments across space. But they had made one critical error. They assumed they had killed every human. "Any Council presence in the system?" she asked. "Negative. The system appears to have been abandoned for approximately 400 years. "Wait." Chen's brow furrowed as new readings appeared on her console. "Captain, I'm detecting artificial structures on several of the larger asteroids. They appear to be memorial sites." Elena felt a chill run down her spine. Memorial sites? Plaques? Monuments? Some kind of preservation field around what looks like. Chen paused, her voice dropping to a whisper. "Around what looks like human remains." The bridge fell silent, except for the steady hum of life support systems. Elena closed her eyes, remembering the stories passed down through 5 centuries of exile. How the Council had declared humanity a viral species too aggressive, too adaptable, too dangerous to coexist with the galaxy's established civilizations. How they had given humanity one solar cycle to evacuate Earth before the enforcement fleet arrived. Most humans had refused to believe it was real until the first antimatter torpedoes struck the surface. "Captain," called Communications Officer Reeves. "We're receiving a transmission. Origin point is, it's coming from multiple sources throughout the system." On screen, the view screen shimmered, then resolved into the image of a being Elena recognized from historical databases as Ephirian, with their characteristic blue-scaled skin and silver eyes. But this one looked different. Older, sadder. "Unknown vessel," the being spoke in accented standard. "You have entered the Sol Memorial Preserve. This system has been maintained as a monument to the extinct human species for the past 4 centuries. Please state your purpose." Elena stepped forward, her heart pounding. "I am Captain Elena Vasquez of the human vessel Resilience. We've come home." The Zephyrian's eyes widened, and for a long moment neither spoke. When the alien finally found his voice, it trembled with disbelief. "Impossible. The humans were. All records indicate complete species extinction." "The records were wrong," Elena replied. "We survived. We scattered to the void between stars, built generation ships, adapted to the darkness. We became something the Council never expected. Patient." Another voice cut through the transmission, this one belonging to a Centauran with their distinctive crystalline features. "If you are truly human, then you know what this system represents. The Council acted to prevent humanity from consuming the galaxy like a plague." Elena's expression hardened. "The Council acted out of fear. They saw our expansion, our ambition, and rather than try to guide us or establish boundaries, they chose extermination. They turned us into the very monsters they claimed we were." "Then why have you returned?" asked a third voice, a synthetic consciousness, its words perfectly modulated. "If you seek revenge." "We don't seek revenge," Elena interrupted. "We seek understanding. For 500 years, we've wandered the galaxy's edge, asking ourselves the same question. Were they right? Were we a plague that needed to be stopped?" She gestured to her crew, humans of every ethnicity, alongside beings from a dozen species that had joined them over the centuries. "Look at what we became when we had to struggle for survival. We learned cooperation. We learned restraint. We learned that strength comes not from domination, but from unity. The Zephyrian leaned forward. You're saying, you're different now? We're what we always could have been, if the Council had shown us wisdom instead of fear. Elena's voice softened. We've come back, not as conquerors, but as gardeners. To tend to this memorial, to honor our dead, and to show the galaxy that humanity learned from its exile. A new transmission came through this one from deep space. Captain Vasquez, came a familiar human voice. This is Admiral Torres aboard the Phoenix. The Second Fleet has arrived. Elena smiled as hundreds of ships materialized around the system, not warships, but vessels designed for construction, terraforming, and healing. Each one carried humans who had been born among the stars, raised on stories of a blue world they had never seen. Admiral, she replied, begin Operation Restoration. Let's show them what humanity has learned in the darkness. As the fleet spread throughout the Sol system, beginning the slow work of gathering Earth's scattered remains, Elena watched the Memorial Keeper's transmissions with growing interest. Fear was giving way to curiosity. Suspicion was becoming hope. The galaxy would learn that sometimes the most dangerous thing you can do to a species is try to destroy it, because if even one survives, they might return as something far greater than what they were before. Humanity had come home, not as the plague the Council had feared, but as the healers the galaxy desperately needed.